Allred is here. He's a living legend. I'm going to put on my gay glasses to start the interview because he's been so good for progressive people for so many years. Look at our cupcakes.
Mm-hmm. So you invited me here for... Oh, that's lovely. Can I squeeze your cupcakes?
Leave my cupcakes alone, Allred.
So you invited me here for lunch and you didn't tell me this is just prop food.
Don't eat this. We've had this same thing since we started this more than a week ago, and we're not responsible.
I mean, we actually had some food upstairs in the caucus room, which was good. It was good.
That's the green room for our guests, so.
But now we're here to, what do you call this show?
We call this lunch in the Executive Senate office, a little bit late lunch, and it's not much of a name.
Now, can the public just come here and eat?
Yeah, the public can come here. If you look around, there's public people here.
This is just, anybody can come here?
Anybody can come here,
okay.
Yep, except lobbyists can't sit near me.
But you wouldn't want to because the food isn't that good? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, I would never.
Delicious.
And speaking of food, I want to remind everybody of how refreshingly good Coca-Cola is. Okay,
thanks.
Now,
yeah.
Okay, you're at X96 and you have been there for how many years?
Well, I don't know, since 20, I don't know. I started doing radio in 1980 at a station in Ogden, KJQ, which morphed into X96. So I've been doing it since 1980.
And you do the hardest thing, because I know a little bit about radio. You do the hardest thing. You're funny, you and your team, every single morning. It's hard to be funny. You know, you can be scripted, you can be dramatic, you can be up to date, you can be all of that. But to be funny, you either got it or you don't, and you got it.
Well, I have the great good fortune of having two partners, Kerry Jackson and Gina Barberi, who are funny.
Do you like them in personal life?
Can't stand them. I really can't stand them. Gina's a whiner, and Kerry thinks he's better than everybody else, and I just can't stand them. No, I love them. They're great.
Okay, which is true, we'll let you decide.
They're terrific people.
Yeah, that's what
they are.
Okay, so if you want to participate, you know how to do it. You go to the text and you send messages. And remember, I'm censoring them, so no reason to put the bad words because they're not getting on anyway. Up here live at the Utah Legislature. Oh, I need to tell you about one thing. We have a little commercial now. Beginning Thursday, for the first time that we know of, in the state of Utah, or at least in Salt Lake, or at least in the 2nd District, the senator is staying up all night long on Facebook Live to be with you. So we'll start at 9. Yeah, and we'll run 24 straight hours of live. We're going to start in the Rotunda. We'll have a secret tour of the Capitol, then out on the streets. So we're going to knock on legislators' doors at 1 o'clock in the morning just to see who answers and who sticks the dog out. We're going to knock on the governor's mansion door. We're going to go to Denny's and have coffee and say, okay, come on out to Denny's. We're going to go to the emergency room. We're going to a graveyard shift at a factory. We have so many cool things all lined up. And then we'll continue to follow with the Facebook Live cameras the whole day in the Senate, every time I go in every meeting and talk to everybody. So that's Thursday, so plan on it at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock p.m. So it'll be 9 p.m. Friday, Thursday to 9 p.m. Friday.
Why are you doing that?
Because I want to get out and get the pulse of Utah, see what's going on.
You're going to knock on legislators' doors at 11 o'clock at night?
Maybe 12.
I'm telling you, they're going to shoot you.
By the time we get to Carol Spackman Moss, okay.
No. Bill. Hi, Bill.
Let's clear that. All right.
Are there people actually watching this?
Okay, so look, poop across hearts so that we can show Dave Allred how many people.
Bill. Bill. Who's Dave Allred?
Okay, so he'll start to see that. Go Bill. Is it true that Bill wants to abolish the Department of Education?
No, that's Mia Love. Mia Love, she said when she got, you remember that, we still have a little thing. She said, I'm going to abolish the Department of Education. But, she's on her way to doing that because I heard that Betsy DeVos just got confirmed as Secretary of Education. So, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Would she be the stupidest woman or the stupidest person to be the head of Department of Education, or have there been?
Well, I don't know.
See, they love you.
It could have been Rick Perry, but he's going to be the Department of Energy, and he'll be in charge of all the gas stations in the country. That's what he thought. He thought. He said, "Oh, I get to be the department. I've nominated for Secretary of Energy. That means I get to. I know a lot about gas. I can run all the gas stations in the country." They said, "No, Rick. It's nuclear weapons and things like that." And he said, "Oh well, okay. I'll look into that."
You know, that's true. 50% of the work in Department of Energy is nuclear related, and he had no clue.
No, but listen, I'm telling you, Betsy is her first name, right? Dabakis. The end of public education as we know it. You know, I don't understand you people, if there are any of you out there watching this, who think that school vouchers is a good thing, and thank God the Utah State Legislature has heretofore defeated the idea of school vouchers. Any of you who think that's a good idea, you're up in the night. You're full of shit. Can I?
Go ahead.
You're full of shit. Because it will be the death of public education. And, you know, people say, well, we want to do that because our public education system is failing. If our public education system is failing, if public schools are failing, then let's try to fix them, not kill them. And she will kill them.
That's all she knows about, right?
She doesn't really even know about that.
Charter schools
And she doesn't really even know about that.
Private schools, not charter schools.
No, she doesn't really even know about that. What she knows about is she has lots and lots of money and she gives it to political candidates.
Did you see that, like the senator the Republican senator from North Carolina? Somebody help me. I can't remember his name. Nick, you're giving me that look like
Republican senator from North Carolina.
Senator from North Carolina. I can't remember. So he's voting on her. She gave him $55,000 in campaign contributions.
Oh, I thought you meant right there in the hearing room.
Yeah, she brought it up in a little valise, a little Gucci bag, and stuck it down there. All right, let's talk local here. Okay. You spend an hour on the Senate floor with me.
Yep. Oh man. Now, see, that was really fascinating. I've been up here before. A couple of times. Todd Weiler invited us up one time, but we didn't have coats and ties, so we couldn't come into the Senate. And you said, bring a coat and tie and come and sit with me in the Senate. It's an interesting proposition. Is it always that stultifyingly boring?
It's
mostly?
It is mostly, and then there's moments of sheer panic, but occasionally.
Because it's just, everybody seems to know. It's all just plugged in. Everybody knows what's going to happen.
Right.
And it just, here's, okay, there's nothing is in doubt. I spent an hour in there.
There's Republicans that they meet in their closed caucus, and one day, maybe we'll do this when we go live. We'll just go outside the caucus door and sneak in with the camera and see if they notice me and you and the camera and the lights. And we'll say, we just came in, just pretend we're not here.
They would notice you. You know why? I know why they have closed caucuses. Now, the Democrats have open caucus, right? Mm-hmm. They have closed caucuses, and the reason they would notice you is because you would be the only one in there with clothes on. See, the Republicans...
Yeah.
They have closed... That's the reason they have closed caucuses, because they do it naked.
That's not a pretty thought.
Well, no, but
Dave.
That's... Bill.
Bill.
It's Bill.
Who's the worst guest you've ever had?
The worst guest I've ever had.
And I don't mean in the sense of topic, but I mean in the sense of like a total, like they froze up, or you couldn't get anything out of them, or it was just a nightmare.
Jim, it's hard to say because there have been a lot of them. You get a lot. You just get a lot of people. As a matter of fact, no, I won't go into that. Is this water drinkable, or is this prop water?
This is not prop water.
This isn't prop water.
These are real cupcakes.
You're really proud of your cupcakes.
I am. I love them. Don't they look cool?
Doesn't Mr. Dabakis have lovely cupcakes?
It's Nick's birthday.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, my producer of our show.
So you get guests all the time who they come in there with an idea of, I mean, they're there to tell you about their event, let's say. And they get behind the microphone, and all of a sudden they seem to have no knowledge of the event they're there to promote. You say, well, when is it? Oh, yeah, it's on Saturday. What Saturday? Oh, next Saturday. What time? Do you have a website? Oh, yeah, we do have a website. You just like you drag stuff out of them. So actually we've been trying not to do those much anymore. But I don't know, the worst guest I've ever had, I was going to try and remember a belligerent guest, but I like belligerent guests sometimes.
They're your favorites.
Sometimes they get belligerent, and it's like sometimes I used to interview a lot of rock musicians, not so much anymore, but rock musicians, and sometimes they'd be like, I'm a big rock musician and I'm here and that, and I would just at some certain point I would just say, look, if you don't want to be here, I don't care.
Did you ever have anybody stomp off?
Oh yeah. Or I would say, if you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here. I'm doing you a favor promoting your record. So get out if you don't want to be here.
I did talk radio for a long time.
I know.
And one time...
By the way, he was a really, really brilliant talk radio host.
One time, the producer ran in and handed me an article from a newspaper and said, I got the guy on the line. So you know how it works.
Sure.
You're reading it on the fly, and then you've got the person. And so I read the thing, and it said, 34-year-old Holiday Man was caught up. What's the big canyon up there in Holiday? The big cool canyon that's really beautiful. You got to pay $5 to go up now.
Mill Creek.
Mill Creek Canyon. So this guy was caught in the bottom of a latrine.
Oh yeah, I remember that
there.
story. He was in the porta potty. He was taking pictures.
No, this was it was actually an old latrine because it actually crawled underneath. And so the producer had this and said, okay, he's on line 2. And I said, who's on line 2? And he said, the guy. And so then, as I read the article just before I went to him, it said that he had brought his lunch down, and he was looking up as ladies were doing their business.
It was me.
That was that. Anyway,
no.
Not,
but you got him on.
Got me ready for politics.
Did you get him on the phone?
No, he was there, like on line 2. So I got the thing.
You talked to him?
You talked to him.
And how was it?
He was matter of fact. Well,
I like looking at people while they're doing their business from that vantage point.
Yeah, it'll be Facebook Live by now, probably, if this was today. All right, what do we? Okay, let's go. I'm going to go over some bills, and you just give me your fastest thought on them, okay?
Some bills that are currently.
Yeah, some ones that are working. For example,
people still enjoying this, by the way?
Okay, let's see. We got,
I can't imagine. I can't imagine that any of you are enjoying this.
Okay, so Bill has a tie on, dressed up for you.
I had to. And my collar keeps popping up, I know.
Clean up well, Bill.
Thank
you.
Hey,
Jim. Jim, what are you doing on there? We don't really need you, that we've got Bill.
Listen, before I was ever in radio, I used to listen to Jim Dabakis do talk radio with John Prince on K-Talk.
Before you were born.
And they were really entertaining. 4 to what in the afternoon? 3 to...
Expose Mike Lee.
Expose Mike Lee.
That's all it is.
Here, I can. So, Mike Lee, I got a call from somebody, I won't tell you who, and said, can you get me 2 tickets to Bastille or the 1975? I can't remember which concert it was. Can you get me 2 tickets? I really need 2 tickets. It was sold out. That concert we did, it was sold out. It was at the 1975, I think. Sold out, and I said, God, I don't know. It's sold out. Please really do me a favor. It's for a guy I know. And this guy who called me was a political operative. And I said, I'll try. And he called me every day for weeks. Can you get me the tickets? I said, I think, but can you get me the tickets? Give me the tickets. Finally, the day of the concert, I said, I got him. Thank you. So he comes and he gets the tickets, and I said, who are they for? He said, they're for Mike Lee's sons.
Oh!
Mike Lee, he has twin sons, apparently.
I don't know.
Twin boys. So Mike Lee you owe me a favor. I hate your politics, but I think you probably have really cool sons. So,
Okay, what is this? This is a group like 1976 is the name of the group?
the 1975. I think it was
The
them, not Bastille.
1975?
Yeah, the 1975. They're a British group, and they're very artsy, and they're kind of asses too, but they are. They're a little full of themselves, but they're very talented. You know the 1975. That was the show, I think. It was really sold out. Couldn't get in. Yeah.
Last night, speaking of Mike Lee, according to Alicia Bailey Smith, she says in the Telly town hall last night with Mike Lee, he didn't even take questions before he confirmed that he would vote for DeVos.
Yeah.
Mike Lee was condescending, and I swear his call-ins were all pre-screened.
Oh, I was so pissed off. As a matter of fact, I got a call from Mike Lee last night on my landline. Look, listen. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. This I have a landline which I don't use hardly at all. I hardly use it. So my landline rings last night, and I always let it go to the voicemail, and it was Mike Lee calling to ask me to participate in a telephone town hall. And if I had known,
Those things are so rigged.
Well, and
they have a damn town hall meeting. Have a town hall meeting where people can actually look at you.
And,
you know why they don't do that? Because they don't want to be confronted. They don't want people booing them.
Well, and who do you get participating in a landline town hall meeting? Who answers their landline? Who has a landline? 80-year-old people. Nobody answers it. If you have one like I do, I don't even remember the number of it. So it's only old people
Why
who
do you
have
keep
them.
it?
I forget. I don't.
Mike Lee.
I don't remember.
Case Mike Lee
Case
calls.
Mike Lee calls.
Jamie Murdoch says today's heartbreaking and so frustrating. She's talking about DeVos.
DeVos.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
Patty says, Patty McBride Polson, Bill, Utah constituents overwhelmingly asked Hatch and Lee to say no to DeVos, but they're doing it anyway. What do we do now?
Grin and bear it. I mean, there's nothing much you can do.
Geez, there's so many here.
Okay, so
Senator Richard Burr from North Carolina. Thank you, Lauren. Yeah. Lauren Burr. No wonder you. Is there a relation there, Lauren? You never know. A guy named Adam Smith says ha, but you got to like his economic things. Anyway, we'll get to a few more.
Okay, so legislation.
Okay, legislation. So HB 11, which says all of the places in the legislature that calls for balance, that is, all the important boards and commissions that say you should have some Republicans and some Democrats, will be destroyed, and the governor can pick all Republicans.
So commissions like what?
Like the DABC, like the Clean Air Board, like a bunch of other ones. They've taken some of them out in a revision.
Five of them that they say are really important.
Yeah.
And I don't know which ones they are. 5 commissions. But right now, there have to be some Democrats on all of them.
Yeah.
But that House bill, is it? House Bill 11 says, let's just do away with that. It can just be all Republicans, if that's the way they want it to be.
That's the way they want to go.
And what do I think about that?
Yeah, what do you think, sir?
Bullshit.
Can we say that, Nick? He says okay. So
I mean, it's the same principle as kind of reversed as this move to make school board elections partisan.
Just what we need, more partisanship.
We want to make sure we don't get any Democrats on these boards, but we want to be able to identify the Democrats running for school board so we can keep them out.
Imagine the ideologues. So Brian King's bill yesterday in committee, a PAC committee, it would have allowed something besides abstinence in Utah schools with parental sign-in.
Abstinence-based sex education.
Yeah. It lost, by the way.
Yeah, so that's what we will continue to have is abstinence-based sex education. Well, and I saw Gail Rosica here. I know she and her cohorts, they think that these conversations about
on, and thank you all so much for watching. Bill will come back and listen to him every single morning on X96 from what time do you start there?
6 a.m. to 10 a.m., 96.3 FM. Or, go to x96.com. You can find it there.
And your owner owns the Real Salt Lake. Do you get to go to all the games?
If I pay. If I pay. Sometimes I get free tickets.
Thanks again for the cupcakes, Dabakis. We will see you at 1 o'clock tomorrow.